The first time I saw the boy, he stood alone at the edge of the soccer field with tears quietly rolling down his face while every other kid laughed, shouted, and chased the ball without noticing him. I had only volunteered to coach the neighborhood team for 1 month while their regular coach recovered from surgery. I thought I was signing up to teach passing drills and defensive formations. I had no idea that those 4 weeks would force me to confront a chapter of my own life I believed had disappeared forever. Even less could I have imagined that on the final afternoon, a woman would stand in front of me, look directly into my eyes, and gently say the words that made my entire world stop spinning. "You don't remember me, do you?" In that single moment, the field, the children, and every cheerful sound around us faded into silence as memories I had buried years ago began clawing their way back to the surface. Before we begin this unforgettable journey, if you believe kindness can change lives, if you believe everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps these heartfelt stories reach people who may need hope today. Coaching children had never been part of my plans. After leaving my teaching career because of burnout and spending several years working remotely as a graphic designer, I had grown comfortable keeping my distance from people. Life had become quiet, predictable, and safe. When my old friend Mark called asking if I could fill in as coach for a month, I almost refused. But something inside me whispered that maybe I needed fresh air more than another week staring at a computer screen. I accepted, promising myself it was temporary. Nothing more. The team consisted of 12 energetic boys between 9 and 11 years old. They were loud, competitive, endlessly curious, and impossible to keep still for more than 30 seconds. Yet among them was one child who barely spoke. His name was Ethan. He arrived early every practice carrying a worn-out soccer bag that looked older than he was. He stayed after everyone left, quietly collecting stray cones and balls without being asked. Whenever another player scored, he clapped the loudest. Whenever he made a mistake himself, he apologized as though he had committed a terrible crime. It broke my heart to watch someone so young carry that much fear of disappointing others. As the weeks passed, I began noticing small details. Ethan never had anyone cheering from the sidelines. While other parents waved, laughed, or recorded videos, his section of the bleachers remained empty until the very end, when an old blue sedan would quietly pull into the parking lot. He would climb inside, and the car would disappear before I had the chance to meet whoever came for him. I assumed his mother worked long hours. Many parents did. I never questioned it. Our practices slowly transformed the team. The strongest players learned to encourage the weakest instead of blaming them. The boys stopped fighting over who would score and started celebrating assists just as much as goals. Ethan changed the most. One afternoon he surprised everyone by diving fearlessly to block a powerful shot during a scrimmage. The team erupted in cheers, and for the first time I saw him smile without hesitation. It wasn't just a smile. It was relief, as though someone had finally given him permission to believe he belonged. That smile reminded me of someone I couldn't quite remember. It haunted me in quiet moments after practice, appearing like a half-forgotten dream. I would catch myself staring into space, trying to understand why this little boy felt strangely familiar. Every time I reached for the memory, it slipped away before I could grasp it. The championship game arrived sooner than expected. No one believed our team had a chance against the undefeated league leaders. The boys were nervous, their hands trembling as they tied their cleats. I gathered them into a circle and told them winning wasn't measured by trophies but by courage, teamwork, and refusing to give up on each other. Something changed in their eyes. They stepped onto the field believing they were already enough. The match was unforgettable. Every player gave everything they had. Ethan played with remarkable determination, intercepting passes and encouraging teammates whenever they looked discouraged. With less than a minute remaining and the score tied, the ball rolled toward Ethan near midfield. Instead of trying to become the hero himself, he spotted an open teammate and delivered the perfect pass. The winning goal followed seconds later. As the final whistle echoed across the field, the boys rushed together into one joyful pile of laughter and tears. Watching them celebrate filled a place inside me that I hadn't realized had been empty for years. Families flooded the field with hugs, flowers, and congratulations. I congratulated each player before gathering my equipment. Then I noticed a woman standing quietly several feet away. She wasn't smiling like everyone else. Her eyes shimmered with tears, but they held something deeper than pride. They held recognition. She slowly approached until only a few feet separated us. Her voice was calm, almost trembling beneath its composure. She asked if I truly didn't remember her. I searched her face. She looked familiar, but time had changed us both. Then she mentioned the small town where I had completed my student teaching nearly 15 years earlier. Suddenly fragments returned. An elementary classroom. Rain tapping against old windows. A frightened little girl who rarely spoke because classmates bullied her after her father abandoned the family. Every afternoon I had stayed late helping her with reading because she believed she wasn't smart enough to succeed. The woman standing before me had once been that little girl. Her name was Lily. She smiled through tears as she reminded me of something I had completely forgotten saying. During one difficult afternoon when she wanted to quit school forever, I had told her that one caring adult could change the direction of an entire life, and that someday she would become that caring person for someone else. I had forgotten those words. She never had. Life hadn't been easy for Lily. She eventually became a nurse, married young, and later lost her husband to a sudden illness when Ethan was only 4 years old. Between hospital shifts, bills, and grief, every day became a battle just to keep moving forward. She often arrived late because she worked double shifts to provide for her son. She apologized for never introducing herself earlier because she wanted to be certain I was the same man before reopening memories that had carried her through the hardest years of her life. Then she quietly admitted something that left me speechless. Whenever life became overwhelming, she remembered the teacher who refused to give up on a lonely child. She repeated those words to herself while studying through the night, while sitting beside dying patients, while comforting Ethan after his father passed away. She had spent years hoping she might someday thank the man who unknowingly saved her future. I stood there unable to answer because I couldn't believe that something I barely remembered had become someone else's foundation. As the sun dipped below the trees, Ethan walked over carrying the small championship medal around his neck. Without hesitation, he took it off and placed it into my hand. He insisted that coaches deserved medals too because they taught people how to believe in themselves. I tried to refuse, but he wouldn't hear it. That tiny medal remains on my desk today, not because we won a game, but because it reminds me that kindness echoes farther than we ever imagine. If this story has touched your heart so far, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to Kindness Corner so together we can continue spreading stories that remind us how powerful compassion truly is. Before we reach the end, please leave a comment telling us about one person whose kindness changed your life. Your story might become the hope someone else desperately needs. I left that soccer field believing I had spent 1 month teaching children how to play a game. Instead, I discovered that kindness never expires, compassion is never wasted, and the smallest moments we barely remember can become the memories that carry someone else through their darkest years. We may never know whose future is quietly changing because we chose patience instead of judgment, encouragement instead of criticism, or hope instead of silence. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all, that every act of genuine kindness plants a seed whose beautiful harvest may not appear until many years later, when someone looks into our eyes and reminds us that love is never forgotten.